We are live. Hello. I believe I am live on BuzzChomp's YouTube channel. Hey, yo, hey. Dan Salem here, about to talk Super Bowl 52 action. This is my NFL live stream weekly, 5 p.m. Pacific. But I'm not only live on YouTube at the BuzzChomp YouTube channel, I'm about to go live over here on Facebook mentions. And 3, and 2, and 1. Hello. Dan Salem here. I'm live over on YouTube on the BuzzChomp YouTube channel and at the Dan Salem on Facebook. Facebook mentions Facebook for creators. I don't think it's mentioned anymore. I think it's rebranded officially to creators. I'm a creator. I am creating constantly. You can see me now in new Geico commercial. Should be during the Super Bowl as well. Oh, hilarious. I'm crossing the Delaware with George Washington. All right, so Super Bowl 52 is upon us. And I guess we are less than 2 weeks away. The championship games were decided this past weekend. We all know who won. One game was close. The other was a blowout. It was not the games we expected. I'll talk about those in a few. But basically, it's Patriots, Eagles, New England, third Super Bowl appearance in the last 4 years, looking to make it back-to-back titles. And the Eagles, once again, facing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They have never won the Super Bowl. So we could either have the Patriots win back-to-back and 3 out of 4, or the Eagles win their first. I'm partial to the underdog as a fan of the New York Jets, and therefore I would much prefer that the Eagles win. I'm also a Jets fan. So I would much prefer the Eagles win. I love seeing teams get their first title. I love seeing the underdog win. But I'm also a Yankees fan, and I'm married to a Patriots fan, so I respect that dynasty. And you know what? It already is a dynasty. They don't need one more. But maybe, I said it last year, if Tom Brady wins again, and 3 out of 4 and 2 in a row, maybe he'll retire on top. My brother and I got a nice piece coming up on NFL Spin Zone. I believe it's going up tomorrow morning. Tom Brady or Carson Wentz next year. Basically, the question, who would you rather have? But it brought me around to the point of the only way Tom Brady can top Peyton Manning again on the field is by finishing on top as well in a bigger way. Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl with Denver and retired. He retired at the top of the game, champion. He's a bona fide Hall of Famer. Great way to end his career. He won the Super Bowl and then rode off into the sunset. Tom Brady chose not to do so last year. Could do it this season, having won 2 in a row and 3 out of 4. Now, the elusive 3 in a row, which very few ever anywhere in any sport ever accomplish. The Bulls did it. The Yankees didn't get 3 in a row. They got 3 out of 4. No, did they get 3? I think they got 3 out of 4 and like 4 out of 5, but I don't think they got 3 in a row. So it's very difficult. The Patriots didn't get 3 in a row at the beginning of this dynasty. They got 3 out of 4 and 4 out of 6 or something. They got to win 2 in a row here first. So they got the Eagles. And the Eagles are no slouches. They absolutely humiliated the Vikings after about 5 minutes of that game because Vikings went up 7-0. And Nick Foles looked money. But he's not the long-term quarterback there. That would be Carson Wentz, who was having an MVP season prior to his ACL injury, which we know can go one of 2 ways. It can go the Tom Brady route, where he came back and managed to get better because of the new training regime and new food and everything that he had adopted because of the injury. So he made him a better, healthier, stronger player. And he's just gotten better and better ever since. Or it can go the route of Robert Griffin III, who never made it back from the injury. Basically, he kind of got back, kept getting banged up a little bit, bounced around, and then never found any more work because he couldn't be that player, couldn't scramble, and move in the pocket, and that's what made him so dynamic in the first place. Now, Wentz had those attributes as well, whether comparing him to Aaron Rodgers, but I think he had more pocket presence. I think He can sling it better than RG3 could. And I also think at this point, 5-6 years later, he's going to recover. I mean, he's going to recover. He's going to be 100%, if not better. Maybe he'll follow the same Tom Brady. I guess it's a regiment, whatever. I don't know. He's got a whole book diet thing out. But if he follows that after the injury, he's got a high probability of returning to his MVP form. So let's touch on that debate for a minute. I said you would have to take Carson Wentz because he is literally 15 years younger. Now, Tom Brady has had an exceptionally long and exceptionally successful career. I don't see him playing in more than another 3 years. I just don't see it happening. The cliff is there. We don't know when it's going to come. It could come in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. It could come next season. He could retire before he ever falls off that cliff. We saw Peyton Manning fall off the cliff, and it was due in no small part to injury, which he was not able to fully recover from because of his advanced age. The older you get, the harder it is to recover from serious injuries. Therefore, Tom Brady, the longer he plays, the more likely he is to get seriously injured, the more likely he is to hit that wall. Everybody hits the wall. Everybody falls off the cliff. It's only a matter of if we as fans see it on the field or if it happens when they're at home in their private time. Because some players, like Barry Sanders, retire before they hit the wall, before they fall off the cliff, and then they're endued in our memory as this amazing, incredible player. Manning kept playing, and good for you, man. You went out, you won a Super Bowl, you rode off into the sunset as a champion. That's a gift. But your last couple of years were rather forgettable, and you just did not look like the player we always loved and knew. Ben Roethlisberger's toying with retirement because I think he sees it coming. He's been banged up, and he might retire. He's probably going to play one more. But same with Drew Brees. I mean, he's going to keep playing, but these guys are going to fall off the cliff, hit the wall soon enough. Tom Brady, he's defying the odds. He's defying what we would think would happen to a man of his age. And that makes sense. I mean, we all look younger, feel younger if we want to, can be healthier and stay stronger longer if we want to. But if he wins another Super Bowl, the desire to ride off into the sunset, having won back-to-back, will be very strong. He will probably want to come back and try to make it a three-peat. If they accomplish the three-peat, I see no reason for him to return. 3 in a row, man. Go. You can't. I mean, yeah, you could win 4 in a row, 5 in a row, 6 in a row. That is so not going to happen. I mean, I'm not sure even they're going to beat the Eagles. So, I mean, yes, they got 2 out of 3. This is a special little ride he's on. I hope he ends his career before we see him fall off the cliff, because that would just be the perfect way to finish things off here. Perfect. But the way he talks, he's going to keep going until they kick him off the field or he gets hurt and he can't come back. And I don't want to see that happen. I mean, I don't like the Patriots, but I respect Tom Brady, and I don't want to see that happen to him. I don't want him to win another Super Bowl this year, but I've said it before. If that means he's retiring, I want him to win the Super Bowl and retire. I want him to ride off into the sunset. But so, the debate is, how many more years can you actually get vintage Brady versus Carson Wentz, who may or may not recover fully from his ACL, but he's 25, entering year 3, after a MVP caliber season that was only cut short because of injury, may have won the MVP otherwise. Led his team to the best record in the NFC, and here they are in the Super Bowl with their backup because, yeah, just a great team. Great defense, great all around. So, my preference is Carson Wentz. And this is a big headline because the Eagles will be playing with Nick Foles. So we all know this, Nick Foles versus Tom Brady, blah, blah, blah. Nick Foles, do we get good Nick Foles? Do we get bad Nick Foles? Blah, blah, blah. The real headline for me, Rob Gronkowski suffered a concussion in the AFC Championship game. Yes, he has 2 full weeks to get better, but concussions have 0 timetable for recovery. You could be better in a day. You could be better in a month. Will he be allowed to play? And I mean, I kind of think he will, but you don't know. If it was a serious concussion, he might not be allowed to play. They have a whole protocol here to protect him from himself. Now, it's the Super Bowl, but you got to protect him from himself, man. It's a head injury. You don't recover from those. He gets another one. That's just the bad news. It's bad precedent. So this is going to be a major storyline, one of the biggest. Will Gronk's concussion affect his ability to participate in the Super Bowl? It appears as though Tom Brady's hand is reasonably healed. I'm assuming he got just cortisone shots before the AFC Championship, which is why he's throwing like it wasn't even bothering him after getting it all sewn up, stitched up, what have you. This could be an injury concern leading into the Super Bowl. Now, the Jaguars were playing kind of dirty. I don't think the penalties were evenly dispersed, but they were trying to get cheap shots after the whistle consistently. And the Jets played the Jaguars and beat them early in the season. I don't remember them doing that. I feel like it was something they adopted in the playoffs. They wanted to really beat up the Patriots, like make them hurt. And yeah, they knocked Gronk out, which was a little cheap shot. It was not successful in the end because the refs saw it and they were calling the game tighter on the Jaguars than on the Patriots because of it. I think if they weren't cheap shotting a little bit after the whistle, they probably wouldn't have gotten so many pass interference penalties, and that may not have led to a Patriots victory. We don't know. We will never know. That being said, the Eagles would be smart to swing at Tom Brady's hand. Now, when he's throwing, I'm not saying you don't aim with your head, you don't try to hit him with the helmet in the hand, but like if he's going up to make a pass, instead of trying to get the sack, try to whack his hand. Now, yes, you want to whack the ball away, but whack his hand. His hand's injured. This is like a core value of football. If you know a player has an injury, hit the injury to cause him a little pain. Now, you're not trying to make the injury worse. That's kind of crossing the line. But I mean, if you have a cut and you poke the cut, it hurts. So if you got an injury, whack the injury, cause him a little pain. He'll get up here. You hit him 3 or 4 times in the same injured spot, gets in the guy's head. Now, Tom Brady is the uber professional. He probably could overcome such tactics. But I didn't see the Jacksonville hit his hand, at least not even once. I didn't even see an inkling that they were going after that hand. They should have. They went after other stuff, didn't work. Maybe go after the known commodity, Brady's injury. Now, the Patriots did a great job blocking for Tom Brady. They always do a pretty good job, and they always get better in the playoffs. They look like a championship caliber football team. You couldn't say that about them halfway through the regular season. But they've mastered the art of starting, building to the very best football in the Super Bowl at the end of the year. So this is great. Now the Eagles, they've stepped it up. I mean, they needed everything they could handle to beat Atlanta, but they absolutely handled Minnesota. Minnesota had a very good defense. Philly just had everything to answer for them. I think Minnesota's defense is better than New England's. Therefore, Philadelphia, assuming Nick Foles plays mistake-free football, Philadelphia will put up quite a few points on the Patriots. But I think the Patriots will do the same to the Eagles. Now, the Eagles have a very good defense. This could be a high-scoring Super Bowl. It's hard to predict a high-scoring Super Bowl because most Super Bowls are not high-scoring. But I could see this being a high-scoring Super Bowl. Like, high-scoring, like 28, 20, 35, 28. That'd be high-scoring. I don't know what the over-under lines are yet. I haven't checked them. We'll be making all those picks coming up. We got Super Weeks next week. So this is like the pre-Super Bowl week. I'm jumping on the headlines early. The headline will be, will offense win this championship or will defense win the championship? Now, the mantra is defense wins championships. It will be the Eagles defense that wins them the title if they win the Super Bowl because they will have shut down Tom Brady. It will be the Patriots defense that wins them the Super Bowl if they beat the Eagles because they will have shut down the running attack of the Eagles and made Nick Foles make mistakes. Plain and simple. What other big headlines? Super Bowl, Super Week. Eagles' first Super Bowl attempt. The last time the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, they played the Patriots, and they lost to Tom Brady. I remember it. That was Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb. I was rooting for the Eagles then, too. Now, this is an interesting Super Bowl for casual fans or fans like myself of the Jets, because neither of these football teams' fan bases are very likable. Eagles fans are known for being annoying and just rude and vulgar, and so are Patriots fans. Now, the Patriots have this gusto about them and class about them, and the Eagles adopted that this past year or two as well. Before that, under Andy Reid, they were kind of like the boom, boom, boom team. I don't know. It just had this interesting moxie about them. But now they are also adopting this business as usual professionalism. But fans are still the fans. So if you get a stadium full of Patriots fans and a stadium full of Eagles fans, that's a fight I'd like to watch, because that's a mess. That's a lot of that's a mess. So who do you root for? I think unless you're an actual Patriots fan, you should be rooting for the Eagles to get their first Super Bowl. You should be rooting for them to topple the dynasty, to be the underdog again. They were underdogs last week and absolutely blew away Minnesota. I think I picked Minnesota +4. It was a bad pick because they just didn't even get anywhere close. Justin Timberlake will be the halftime show. This is a semi-big headline. I like JT. I think he's going to put on a good show. They always play it pretty safe, except for the last time he was there when he exposed Janet Jackson's breast. And now he's back. Interesting. I'm sure we'll get to see clips of that with the boob blurred out, unfortunately. So this week is kind of like half practice week for these guys. They get a couple days off, maybe. I don't know if Belichick gives his players any days off. And then they travel to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I would have loved to see the Vikings be the first team ever to be at home at the Super Bowl and have a home game. Was not meant to be. They will be in Minnesota, which I assume inside the dome, because it'd be damn cold there, and that would be no fun. And Mall of America in Minneapolis. What else is in Minnesota? I've never been. This might have been. Maybe not. I don't know. The Super Bowl's in Minnesota. This will be fun. Someday soon, the Super Bowl here will be in Los Angeles. That will be fun. Not sure what number we get. It's around the same time we get the Olympics, like 5 years' time, because those stadiums will be finished building. That will be awesome. LA is a great city, especially for the Super Bowl. I don't know much about Minneapolis, except for the Mall of America, but I have a feeling it will be a great host for this Super Bowl. I'm excited for the Super Bowl. It's my daughter's very first Super Bowl, and she gets to see her mother's favorite team play in it, but she won't remember it. That's okay. Tom Brady's back. Bill Belichick is back. They're going to lose their coordinators. Patricia, the defensive coordinator, is going to be the head coach of the Lions, it would seem. And their offensive coordinator, Dan McDaniels, is likely going to be the Colts head coach, because the Colts are the only team with a vacancy left. And, I mean, he's going to sign somewhere. So the Patriots in 2018, next year, will have to have a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. That is more incentive for Tom Brady to retire, because otherwise he's got to work with a new offensive coordinator, and that could suck for him. What other storylines? Eagles, Patriots. Sounds good enough to me. It's not really a rivalry, unfortunately. There's not any other huge storylines yet. Nobody's gotten in any trouble yet. So really keep an eye on this Gronkowski concussion. And, keep an eye on Nick Foles, because he's big man in bigger shoes. Does he sign for next year? If he wins the Super Bowl, someone's going to snatch that guy up. And I'm not sure that I want my Jets to do it, but it will be tempting for them. As a Jets fan, I think we're promoting our quarterback's coach to offensive coordinator. Kind of like this move I like sticking it, keeping it in-house because I liked what was going on this year, so the continuity will help. As a Yankees fan, all's quiet, man. It's been a cold winter. And as a Clippers fan, they have played themselves back into playoff contention. Not surprising to me. They are going to have like the 7th or 8th spot in the West, and that's fun. It's good first year without Chris Paul, I suppose, to continue to make the playoffs if they can keep playing it that way. Any other questions from the studio audience before I sign off on this fine Tuesday? Well, thank you guys so much. This has been fun. There is going to be so much more to talk about from the Super Bowl next week because it will be Super Week next week. Next Tuesday, Media Day, or is it Wednesday? I don't know, but I'm going to be live 5 p.m. Pacific time next Tuesday evening talking Super Bowl 52. Less than a week before the big game at that point. And we will have Pro Bowl fallout. I didn't even mention the Pro Bowl, but, I mean, I guess we'll talk about it after the fact. Skills competition is coming up this Thursday. That should be fun. Don't miss that. I'm Dan Salem. I am live. BuzzChomp's YouTube channel and over on Facebook, creators at The Dan Salem. Always on Twitter at The Dan Salem. So tweet at me, hit me up, and I would love to answer your questions. I will throw in a new topic for my live stream if you got one. All right, thank you guys, and peace. Peace, good night. Finish up here.